Woo! Nice.
Hey everybody, this is Guitar Power. I'm Alan Johannes. I have the pleasure of being here with Jared Scharff.
Yes.
Amazing guitarist, plays
Thank you,
in a
man.
live band. So tell me, first memories of the guitar. Like how young, what was it?
Well, actually, I was a drummer first.
Whoa, cool.
Yeah, so I played drums like in the 4th grade. I wanted to be a sax player, but then my parents were like, no, you walk to school, you can't like carry this whole case. And then they're like, well, how about guitar? And I was like, well, okay. And so that was kind of how I started taking guitar lessons. And I was pretty terrible for a while. And but I just loved doing it. And I remember like being on stage at the cafeteria, I think like in 6th grade or something,
Right.
and everyone in the, in the cafeteria, like they were just like, yeah, and I was just like, this is awesome.
That's not good. I know, that's amazing. But it was an acoustic. You had an acoustic.
I started off on like a student acoustic guitar,
Yeah,
but then I
yeah.
got like my first electric, and as soon as I got the electric, it was just like,
Yeah. What was that? What was one of the first things you learned on the electric? Or was it already like songs or?
it's like the standard repertoire, man. Like
Yeah.
Smoke on the Water,
Uh-huh.
The opening riff, which everyone always learns not correctly.
What's the right way? Show us.
I think isn't it?
That's it.
Without the bend.
Uh-huh.
I learned that. I learned Wild Thing, just standard. But one of my favorite things I ever learned first was Patience by Guns N' Roses.
Oh wow.
That was like, I remember that time and seeing that video, and it was just like, these guys are the coolest dudes ever, and this is like so cool that the hardest rocking band just did this amazing soft song that was so badass.
Yeah.
But I was more about like the leads, man. I always wanted to play the leads. After I kind of got to a certain level, I remember just bringing in like my Boss Metal Zone pedal and
Right.
playing like solos to Allman Brothers' Blue Sky with it, like in the lesson. And I would just spend the whole lesson just like jamming, and like the teacher probably was just like, this is like the easiest lesson ever. He just wants to like jam. And I'd just be like playing all the blues, like all the licks from the solos. Like I would study all the solos.
So you were learning by ear or tab or?
I did both. I learned, I think I was like reading the transcription and listening. I don't know, it was ingrained in me. Like if I put it on now, like I could almost probably sing the entire solo to you, like as it plays, like still
Right.
to this day.
So you were hearing it in your head,
Yeah, this is all melodies,
Yeah.
like that to me was the whole thing. It was like, I got into like Hendrix and SRV and Cream and all that stuff, but like, I guess Clapton was my first like.
What about Eric Clapton? Was it the Cream period or
Yeah,
was
it was Cream. I remember on my, I think it was like either my dad's birthday or it was like my 16th birthday. I don't really quite remember, but he gave me this big like Clapton Crossroads book of tab, and he never wanted to give it to me. And I was like, give me the book, give me the book. He's like, no, you're not ready. You're not ready.
Yeah.
And he finally gave it to me, and so I was just like, all right, I'm gonna show you. I learned White Room, Badge, Sunshine of Your Love, and Crossroads, note for note, solos, licks, everything.
Wow.
And I just sat him down on my bed, and I was just like, play. And I was just like,
That's amazing. Do you remember the Sunshine of Your Love one? That's one of my favorites.
It's been a long time, but I still remember some of the Crossroads one, like. Something like, I knew all that stuff. It all comes back to those days, I think, like, it's just melodies. Like, my favorite thing are melodies.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, songs, I think, are like, the thing that holds the melodies together. Obviously, it's like the package in which you deliver melodies for the most part, but.
Yeah. So how did that whole thing with SNL start? Where were you? How did,
I had known the previous guitarist, and he had, he was familiar with my guitar playing, and I was able to get a recommendation from him. My first, basically, screen test was sending YouTube videos. So, which is, I get that question, like, people ask me all the time about, like, gigs and, like, what to do as a guitar player. It's like, I don't know, I'm just figuring it out myself. But I will say, having material out there that you're really comfortable with, I think, is the first step. Like, you gotta have that. So because of that, I was able to land an audition. So my first step was, here's 2 YouTube videos of me just like playing, I think it was a Bill Frisell song actually, but like rocked out and like leads.
The Bill Frisell song.
Yeah, like what do we? Do you know that song? It's Bill Frisell was a big influence for a while. It was like what is it? And just do those kind of things.
Nice.
Like all that, that total, you start getting into that world of loopy, Exactly. But then we would take it out to like the next level. There was a section where it would be like A, B, G. And we would just get big on it, And I was just doing the like the melodic. Just full
Nice.
flying and
Yeah.
off the cliffs, and so I sent something like that. And anyway, to go back to it.
Yeah.
Got the audition, so we do the thing. And then Sean, the drummer's like, all right, I'm gonna go pineapple, pineapple. He like counts off in like fruits and vegetables. It's like the strangest thing. Like he's like, artichoke, artichoke.
That's awesome.
So he'd be like, all right, dig, ready? I'm gonna go artichoke, artichoke. And be like, 3, 4, tick-a-da, tick-a-da. And like, we're in. And I was like, well, so much for like that 1 minute. And that was basically the entirety of the audition. But again, I took my first chance when I could. And the first song was Sissy Strut. And Lenny was like, take a solo. Mm-hmm. When you're ready, just like tell us you're done. Give us the like home bass sign. Mm-hmm. And I was like, cool. So solo comes up and I'm just like, I'm just like off to the races. And I literally just did not stop. And at one point, like the organ player, Leon Pendarvis, he's like, all right, we're going to the top. So like we go back to the top. And then after everyone's laughing, and it kind of like broke the ice, but I was also like, was that good or was that bad that I did that? And everyone's laughing and they're just like.
I mean, how many rounds really? Do you remember how many?
I must have been like a minute. I just was like, my philosophy on like everything is like, you have one opportunity to make an impression.
Yeah.
So like, do it. Like that was how they were gonna judge me for the rest of that audition.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, that's just the way it is. So it's like, if I don't impress them or just give it my all, like at that moment, like I have to go for broke. And anyway, I got a call like a few weeks later, and that was it. And this is now my 9th season.
9th season, that's great.
Yeah.
So with your solo stuff, your project's called Pearl Land, right?
Yes.
That's it. And that's you doing everything and producing it.
Yeah. So basically, I've always had this dream to make an instrumental album that was kind of anti-shred.
Right.
So I wanted to kind of take the pop mind that I've had, making pop music for so many years, producing and writing pop music, my classic rock and jam band upbringing of like being creative, exploratory, experimental, and then my modern day like producer mind of like beat making and kind of just pushing the envelope, and like what would that be in one thing, and could I convince a viewer or a listener rather who loves lyrics and bands and stuff, like to feel an emotion from what I'm doing without a lyric or a vocal melody.
It's very kind of almost orchestral and atmospheric in many ways in some of the stuff I've heard.
Yeah, so there's the light and the dark. So the light EP is like all the kind of
yeah, let's hear some.
Those kind of atmospheric but melodies, So now, obviously, I'm not actually playing it solo guitar. There's like this kind of like pulsing synth world and weird drums, and it's
beautiful.
And then I adapted. I just basically took all the left hand out, built this kind of Daft Punk track, and then basically let the melodies do their thing, and that's it.
And what else is exciting besides that? Just going to continue and.
I
Do
mean,
you ever think about starting a band, like being in a
well,
band with this, singer and all that?
man,
You sing a little bit.
singers.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. I think for me, like the Pearl Lion thing is really like where my heart and head is at right now, because, and I would love to end up developing that where there are vocal contributions and things, and even eventually possibly like doing more straight ahead songs, but with more of my aesthetic, which eventually maybe do get on radio.
Yeah.
But that's like down the line. But
I was just kind of teasing because you were already saying about the melodic aspect of the guitar.
oh
It's like-
yeah.
And singers can be.
No, I love like rock bands. It was always like one of my dreams was to be in like a huge rock band. But like things went all different kinds of ways, and you just follow it. And I'm kind of like. It's hard for me to like not be my own boss, like I really kind of just, I've always kind of wanted to do my own thing, so the Pearl Lion thing is kind of perfect for that, and then like the SNL thing is like the best job like next, like with that in conjunction is kind of like a perfect, it's just like, okay, I'm just gonna do this for as long as I can,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here. Wonderful, everything that
Dude,
you've done.
it's fun playing with you, man.
Yeah, thank you. You want to take it out a little bit and
Yeah, what should we do?
I'll follow you along. Yeah.
Undrop D it?
Okay, let's do that. Thanks, Ian, Jared.
Cool, man.
All right, thank you.
I wish we could like.
This is Guitar Power. Thank you so much.
What's up, guys? Thanks, guys.